What are the disadvantages of money market fund? That is a question that, well, a lot of you do ask me, hey, Joseph, can I lose money with a money market fund? How safe and secured it is? What are the disadvantages? I totally understand that not every, or rather every, investment has its own pros and cons and what have you. And guess what, guys? This is it. I know why, because I talk a lot about money market fund and what have you. Some of you guys are even calling me, hey, hello, money market fund ambassador, and what have you, when I meet you in towns and what are kind of that. Okay, but the point is, on this particular video, I'm going to take you slowly, step by step, discussing what are the disadvantages of a money market fund. So take yourself a pen and a paper, or if you trust your head, then just sit back, switch off other things that are distracting you, and listen. Because I know some of you, or almost, by the way, all of you should have a money market fund. I do personally. I have 3 and all those kind of things. Okay, now what exactly are the disadvantages of a money market fund? And when I say I have 3, it does not mean like I'm a billionaire, I have a lot of money. No, you can just start with small few coins and what have you. Okay, fine, let's get into the business. By the way, don't forget, this is Good Joseph speaking, in case you're watching me for the first time. And by the way, do this. By the way, I post a video each and every day. Don't be watching my videos when you're not subscribed. Just go ahead and hit that subscription button and make sure that you like my video and leave me a comment on the comment section. Yeah, I know you're about to abuse me. Hey, Joseph, get to the point. I want to hear that. Thank you. Now, by the way, work on your patience, okay? Now, the point is, let's get into the first disadvantage. Now, what are the disadvantages of a money market fund? Probably, or you might be shocked, it's likely like 1 or 2 disadvantages of what have you. Now, the very first disadvantage of a money market fund is, of course, something called low returns. Low returns, okay? What do I mean by that? Low returns. Well, you might like, what do you mean low returns? And you usually tell us about the compound interest, and anything that is giving you 10 to 15%, I don't consider that as a low returns. Absolutely, it is not a low returns. That's a very good return. But then if you go to places like the UK, the US, they usually get like 3%. It's true. For those who are watching from the US, from the UK, the Canada, please tell me how much the mutual funds are giving you in those countries. They get 3%. Kenya, we are getting 10 to 15%. But then why am I saying then low returns? First, what I mean is this: if you take a money market fund compared to, say, starting a business, the kind of returns that you get are lower compared. For instance, okay, there is a guy who called me, a very young guy at 21. He told me, hey, Joseph, you know what? Luckily, I have 100,000 with me. Now, tell me, how much will I get if I throw my 100,000 into a money market fund, say, a month or an year? And then I told the guy, with 100,000, say if you're getting a rate of, say, a flat rate of 12% in an year, that will give you 12,000 in an year. So the guy was like, what? 12,000 in an year? You know, because you see, most of the young people tend to think like you just multiply money faster, and then you're rich, you're wealthy, and such. That's the reality. With 100,000, will give you approximately, say, 1,200, 1,000 to 1,200 thereabout. Okay, so may not give you that good returns, and that's why we say not even money market fund alone on this. Actually, all the investments, they usually give you, even building rentals, real estate, do not give you high returns. They give you this kind of returns. Actually, rentals do not even give you 10 to 15. Rentals give you like 7%. 7, as low as that. Some of you may be like, what? I used to think like my landlords are rich. No, they are not. Well, they are because they own the assets, but in terms of what comes in as a cash flow, it is low. And that's why I told you guys, rentals, it is not a way of multiplying your money or growing your money. It's more of safeguarding it. Okay? Did you get my point? So the point is, money market fund offers you that low returns, in the sense that you do not really get much out of your money. You can take like a million shilling, you put it in a money market fund, you get 10,000 each and every month. Probably if you were to take that a million bob and throw it, say, in a business like a boutique or a beauty parlor or whatever the thing it is, then of course whatever you're going to be getting out of that is way higher compared to what the investments is giving you, precisely the money market fund. But of course you have also to compare some other parameters. Like if you start a business, of course that one is regarded as a high risk, high returns. This one is regarded as a low risk and low returns. So here, between these two things, this one is assuring you something called the capital preservation. This one is giving you none of that. So you really need to compare and contrast those two factors or those two parameters before you make a decision as far as the low returns is concerned. So the MMF, again, what you're supposed to understand is, of course, I don't know whether you guys know this, money market fund usually has us what we call a management fee, okay? A management fee of largely 2%, okay? Some they have less than 2% or 2%, okay? So, well, why are you, Joseph, classifying it as a disadvantage? Well, what I'm classifying it is because, okay, fine, these guys, what they do, or these companies, what they do, actually the appropriate term is to, manage asset, When I say manage asset, it is that they manage people's wealth. And of course, what they do, or by law, they don't share with you that interest that they get. Because simply what you do, you give them your money and tell them, I have like 2 million, 300 million, 200,000, whatever the amount of money you have, manage this money for me instead of it lying idle. So the correct term for the money market fund, we can say they are fund managers or they are asset management. They simply manage assets. Now, how do they make money? Because this is a question that you should always be asking yourself. Yes, you are giving me money, but how are you making it? So they have that management fee to manage that wealth. They take that money through very strict, what do we call consideration and discussion with the trustees and the custodians and what have you. Then they decide to go ahead and buy that particular thing called, say, a bill, or maybe a bill in South Africa, a bill in whatever the place. Then once they invest on that, then they come back with that interest. They take their 2% management fee, and of course they go and invest. And I have to discuss this about the management fee. Let me just call it fees. Why am I calling it fees? Because some money market fund, not all of them, and that's why you really need to be careful which money market fund. Let's say this is the point number 3: hidden charges. Hidden charges. Okay, though by law, all the money market funds in Kenya are supposed to be regulated by CMA, there are some other money market funds that behave in a very funny way. How? There's some of the charges that they never disclose that are actually there. Some money market fund, they lure you, get into their layer by simply telling you, hey, there is no withdrawal charges, there is nothing, but they tell you that what you think is so much popular. Because personally, I don't like the transactional charges. I don't like those, when I'm withdrawing. And I bet I don't know whether this is a Kenyan thing, but it is what it is. For example, when I'm going to withdraw my money and I see, oh my goodness, 20 shilling is going, 50 shilling is going, I really feel the pain, okay, and the pitch. But again, I remember, you know what? This platform is not mine. It was provided and it has to run. So of course, this is how they make their profit. But if I have a way of just doing the transaction without going through that management or other transaction fee, or maybe minimizing it, I go with it. So some money market fund, they usually have some hidden charges. They don't really like disclose everything. They are supposed to. If you go to their website, they tell you, hey, we have a 100 shilling or 200 shilling management per month, or we have this extra amount of money, or we usually charge this if you withdraw this. Because different money market fund, they usually have different policies. For instance, there is a money market fund that will tell you, if you withdraw once per month, there is no transaction fees. But if you withdraw, say, multiple times in a month, of course, that one incurs other transaction fees and what have you. So some of those hidden charges, because I know you Kenyans, and allow me to tell you the truth straightforward to your face, you are lazy. Why am I saying you're lazy? You don't like to read the terms and conditions. You don't even care about, you can just get somebody, you tell them, let's say, join company X. They go to their website, they're interested on where can I open an account. They don't even read about when that company started. They don't even care what other services do they offer, for how long have they been in operation, who is even the CEO, where is their physical location, where is their PO box, that is the address, their number, they're nothing. Can you imagine this? They are from the website of a given company, and then they come to me asking me, where are their numbers? And you are from their website. It is there. You can call them. You can contact them. See, it is good to make sure that you understand everything about those transactional charges and fees and what have you. For instance, people do not understand how the compound interest works. So when we say, for instance, you can go to a website, they are telling you we compound 10% daily. It is not true. They don't compound 10% daily. Because if you tell an average individual or a citizen that way, do you know how they understand? I take my 100,000, I throw it in a money market fund, I'm getting 10% daily, or maybe say 15% daily. Of course, do you know what I think? Like tomorrow morning, I'm gonna get my money, like say, if I throw my 100,000, 15% of it is 15,000, right? Because you say daily. And then the other day, because you say you are compounding daily, or say monthly, or whichever the rate it is. So it's 15,000 tomorrow, 15,000 the other day, 15,000 the other day, or actually more than that, because even the 15,000 is getting interest. But if you're compounding monthly, then whatever has been accumulated for the last days, now that is subjected to another. You see, you need to understand. They tell you it's 15%. They say daily just for an attraction. The reality is per year, because the 15 today will change, maybe say to 14 to 14.5, depends on how the financial market is working, or the capital markets, it's particularly doing. For example, like whenever the central bank revised the rates, like the Fed did in the US, they revised the rates. That actually affects even the bills, the bonds, these mutual funds, and what have you, because they kind of go hand in hand. So you need to understand those factors and those parameters, okay? So when they say 15%, just understand what they mean. They simply mean, because if you say it's 15% daily, so it's 15 times 30 times 1 times, you can get some crazy returns. So I had a client whom we went through step by step, because how much she was getting vis-a-vis what she was expecting, they are not tallying. They don't tally, and of course they need to tally. So some of that hidden information, the hidden charges, and that's why I always tell people, please, before you join any money market fund, do you thorough research, understand. And when I tell you I have a booklet that can help you understand things, or maybe you can contact me, I can take you through, so that you understand what am I getting myself into. Because some of you just jump into these investments because you fear of missing out, and then you get into it, you don't understand what is going on, then you come back to me, you ask me, like, you get what I'm saying. So it is good to understand some these parameters and what have you. Now, basically, I would say these are largely the disadvantages of a money market fund. This is where they give you kind of low returns. When I say low returns, compared to business, not compared to, say, fixed deposit. Of course, they are higher than fixed deposit. They are higher than, say, maybe that what the circles are giving you. Maybe they're higher compared to maybe the bills in terms of the longer period of time, not in terms of a short period of time, because bills, they usually tend to high, or bonds, they usually tend to have a high interest rate, but they offer simple interest. You cannot do the top up. They don't offer the compound interest, but the bond money market fund gives you that in a longer period of time. Another disadvantage, of course, there are those transaction charges that are here and there, some other management fee and what have you, because we cannot talk about the taxes cuts across all the investments and the businesses. So with that case regard, then I would say management fee there might discourage some people here and there as far as the investments are concerned. Okay, now the other thing is that the other hidden charges or other disadvantage of the money market fund is some funny hidden charges there. They don't share this information with some of you, and of course once you get there, what you're expecting to get vis-a-vis that what they have sent you, it's not tallying. Then it becomes a little bit of like a put off to you. You feel like been cheated and something of sort and what have you. But generally, I would say money market fund is one of the best areas to invest. If I was to talk about the advantages, of course I can give you a lot of that. Okay, we can start from, okay, this video was not about the advantages. You can be like talking about two things. It's like I'm talking from both ends of my mouth. So anyway, check out on those areas, check out on all those things that we've talked about, and you tell me on the comment section. Perhaps maybe I've forgotten any as far as the disadvantages are concerned. Can a company collapse? Of course, yes, it can collapse. And do they collapse like frequently? Well, it's not that thing that we usually get dislike. It's not like our daily do. It's not like what is happening on the circles. If you come from Kenya, you can relate to what I'm talking about. So it's not like the circles are, having some issues here and there, with all the due respect to circles. So, but yeah, that can happen. For me, I do not have any track record where people lost their money. And if they did, and of course you guys know what company I'm referring to, it was not really a money market fund. It was, sort of packaged like an MMF, but it's not really an MMF. And I don't think I will talk much about that, because I do not have a roya. That's what we say in Kenya. And if I do, then I well, let's just reach that information there. Fine, if you'd like to know the best money market fund that cannot get you into these troubles and what have you, my number is always on the description of this specific video. You go grab it. But of course, I have to inform you, once you give me a call, that's a premium service. Of course, I do charge. But the good thing is that the charge that I do, it's quite very much affordable. You can afford it. And I know you can afford it. I just know that. Just know when you call me, you can afford that charge. It's that affordable, okay? Now, and if you would like to get a booklet and get the information by yourself, read by yourself, it's only 280 Kenyan shilling. You can get the book. That's like $2, $2.5 or something of sort. Yeah. My number is always on the description of this specific video. But then some of you guys don't even know where the description of a video is. Come on, just go there and where just below the number of followers there. This is not below the number of the subs. Just slightly above it, there is a section between the title of the video and the subscribers. Just click that word more, then you're gonna get my number there, and then we can talk the business. Anyway, for now, it's a goodbye. And I would like to ask you a question. What that particular thing would you like maybe to verify that I've talked about, and you feel like, need some verification? And by the way, guys, stop telling me to make videos about particular companies. Oh, Joseph, discuss about... No, I cannot do that. Professionally, I'm not allowed to do that because that can... of course, you know what that can end to. So I don't discuss specific companies. What I do is give you general information. And of course, if you are smart, you will know what I'm talking about. All right. Of course, I'm not here to, affect people's business and what have you. I'm here to enlighten people and talk about the things. Okay. Anyway, it is what it is. And see you in the next one.